No one has come to shut this guy up. He was censored, right? All of these experts were censored, but none of them were told you need to shut up by a court of law, because the companies that put forth this product, they knew that what he was saying is true. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got 3 great stories for you. But first, let me remind you that today at 5 p.m. Alaska time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Grayman and myself will be doing a live stream on his channel. And it's always a lot of fun. In addition to that, take a look at the video that I put out yesterday, the Black Friday deals that's going on with the partners of the AP community. A lot of awesome sales are going on right now this time of year, so go take a look at that video, see if there's something in there that fancies you. And before we start, let's get a quick word from the sponsor of this video, Genesis Gold Group. I'm not a financial advisor, but the folks at Genesis Gold Group specialize in helping those who want to diversify their excess wealth by converting their fiat currency retirement plans into a plan that is backed by real money. So if you're in a position where you are wondering what you can do in order to diversify or insulate your wealth against what I like to call the inferno of inflation, give Genesis Gold Group a call and they can provide you with the information that you need in order to make an educated decision. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this, but here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that we cannot forget. We cannot forget what happened during the health crisis and all of the censorship that went on that actually blocked experts from putting out what their findings were. So this paper that was published and very highly censored back then is now republished, peer-reviewed, meaning that it is valid and the things within it are valid. A 2-year-old paper exposing the juicy juice that the medical establishment would not allow to be published has finally made its way into a peer-reviewed journal. The Lancet and another journal censored it when it first came out during the health crisis, but now the public can see its contents for the first time. This has never been seen in scientific publishing before, tweeted Dr. William Mackes, MD, about the paper. And here he says, we finally got them, meaning that there is now evidence. We cannot forget what happened during those years. Now here he explains what went on with that peer-reviewed journal that they're talking about, and where scientists looked at 325 autopsies from people who had recently, like within 2 weeks, received the juicy juice during the health crisis and who passed away suddenly not long after. This is the largest such autopsy series in the world. Scientists discovered that it took an average of about 2 weeks from the time a person got the juicy juice to the time that they got loaded up into a freezer drawer at the coroner's office. And the paper explains, ladies and gentlemen, that about 74% of the people who passed away suddenly passed away due to the juicy juice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is a peer-reviewed paper that they've been hiding for years, or at least censoring for years, that has now come to light, and people are now getting answers. In my opinion, those answers, because of all of the censorship, has come a little too late. But better late than never. At least we can remember this and hopefully not let it happen again. Keep in mind, they say, that the 2-week average is just an average. Some of the juicy juice recipients passed away almost immediately after the contents were dispersed into their bloodstream. And listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. This is why the numbers were somewhat thwarted. He says, yes, the juicy juice did cause sudden death. And most of those deaths were within the first 2 weeks. And it's why they were labeled as not having taken the juicy juice. Because if they passed away within 2 weeks after the shot, then they were considered to having never taken the juicy juice. That was the standard by which they were using to put on the paperwork on the death certificate what actually happened or what caused their death. So he says if someone got the juicy juice and subsequently died within the first 2 weeks, he or she was labeled as not having ever taken the juicy juice on official documents, making it seem like far fewer passed away from taking the juicy juice. But remember what they were saying that they passed away from? The actual, let's say, disease itself, right? So they're saying, oh, this person had this, but they never took the juicy juice, even though they took it. So they were able to shift the numbers from the people that had the actual disease without having taken the juicy juice, even though they did. I hope that makes sense. This paper proves why they did it. Dr. Makis contends they hid the deaths, but we got them finally. But my question, ladies and gentlemen, is who is going to pay for this? I'm not talking about monetary compensation. Yes, there needs to be some compensation to those that were injured, to the families of those that were lost. But who is going to pay for this with their personal fortune and freedom? Because that's what needs to happen. How many millions of people got hurt because of this operation here? And that's exactly what it was, in my opinion. It was a worldwide operation. But that's just an opinion, all right? I am not educated in any of this. I'm just reading an article. And here is the video that I was referencing. I do leave the link to all of these articles or stories so that you can come back and revisit them. And this one right here, you can actually go ahead and click on this and the video will play. It's about 15 minutes long or so. So here it says that Michael Yeadon has released a video of about 15 minutes in length outlining why he believes that all of the health crisis jabs or juicy juices were deliberately designed intentionally to injure, take life, and reduce fertility. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a quote. They were deliberately designed intentionally to injure, take life, and reduce fertility. This is a person that is an expert in this field. It's not me saying this. And this makes perfect sense what he says here. If I was wrong, I would have expected the drug companies whose products I am aligning to have sought and secured a court injunction to stop me repeating these allegations. Dr. Yeadon says, neither of those things have happened. No one has come to shut this guy up. He was censored, right? All of these experts were censored, but none of them were told you need to shut up by a court of law, because the companies that put forth this product, they knew that what he was saying is true. What has happened instead is that I have been extraordinarily censored, as I said, and smeared sideways. And I think I offer that to you as a strong evidence that I may be over the target, at least in relation to these things or products that have definitely injured and taken away the lives of many people. Ladies and gentlemen, in the comment down there, how many of you at least know someone who knows someone who's been injured or maybe passed away due to this stuff? And finishing this off, I can tell you this, with my background in toxicology and my own research experience of 30 years in the industry, this qualifies me, he says. I think better than any other commentator to evaluate what was in the minds of the people who designed these products. The ingredients inside every vial were not random, he says, nor are any of the ingredients in any of the drugs currently on the market. It's chosen to be there to achieve some purpose, he explains, about the ingredients in drugs and juicy juice in general. Not only were the health crisis juicy juice untested, they also contain gene-modifying technologies that have never before been mass deployed on a global scale. But it was all conspiracy theory. Wasn't that all conspiracy theory, ladies and gentlemen? When people were saying that, yes, the human race is being used as guinea pigs with this new stuff that they were putting out and making people pretty much take it if they wanted to keep their jobs, if they wanted to keep their livelihoods, shutting people up who were experts in the field from telling what they found. And now, years later, after all of this damage has been done, now these peer review papers are allowed to be shown to the public, to humanity. Thank you very much, Elon Musk. I really appreciate you buying Twitter and stopping it from being the censor machine that it was. And listen to this. It doesn't stop there. Dutch health minister. This is the Dutch health minister. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is not me talking. Admits that the health crisis was a military operation involving NATO. This is according to Dutch Health Minister Fleur Agema, I think that's how you pronounce it, who blamed the country's governmental agency in charge of national security for much of what happened during the health crisis. And he says that this country will only be free if the NCTV is completely abolished. Can you think of a few agencies here in the United States of America that need to be abolished in order for the American people to once again regain its freedom or its own personal sovereignty? I can think of a few. Let me know in the comments. Who do you think needs to be abolished first and foremost for us to start to regain our freedoms back? Let's see. I digress. This country will only be free if the NCTV is completely abolished and these kinds of shadow governments never get a foothold again. This is the biggest obstacle that stands in the way of a democracy, he stated. He added that people who think that the health crisis is behind us are in for another reality check. Pentagon fails 7th audit in a row, but hopes to pass by 2028. This is pretty optimistic, huh? By 2028, after failing 7 audits in a row. We're talking about trillions of dollars, by the way. The Pentagon has failed its annual financial audit for the 7th year in a row. This means that the Department of Defense has failed every single audit it has been subject to. But officials hope to have things under control by the time audit number 11 rolls around. Each year, a team of independent public accountants audit the department's $4.1 trillion in assets and $4.3 trillion in liabilities. In total, the overall DoD audit is comprised of about 28 separate audits of these different components. Of those 28 components, only 9, or about 1/3, passed inspection, and there is where your tax dollars are going to. Where are they going to? We don't know, ladies and gentlemen. But what we do know, and to finish this video off with something that's quite funny, is that leftists leave X for Blue Sky, only to overwhelm the site with mass censorship demands. It's like a snake eating itself. I hope you got something out of this, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot forget the injustices that have been done upon us and the world in the last several years. If we do, it's only going to happen again. God bless every one of you. God bless America. Thank you very much to sponsor this video, Genesis Gold Group. I'm Alaska Prepper. I am out.